Yo, Darren, we're both back in the studio again
Yay!
today. Always exciting
Yeah,
when we're
I'm
both
always
able to be here
excited. Yes.
for the Darren and Micah show. Darren, lead the way. What are we doing today?
Yeah, it's Tuesday, August 23rd. Man, the summer is almost over.
Going so fast. Oh, wait, you had a big night. Was it Sunday?
Sunday, 2 nights ago.
I didn't even remember you were going.
Yeah.
This is like a big deal for you. This is like
It
of...
was a major deal for me. It was a lot of fun. So, drum roll. I went to my first real rock concert in about 5 years.
Yeah.
And the type of rock I went and saw is genuinely punk rock, almost bordering on metal sometimes.
I would say-
I haven't seen one of those in 20 years.
I would say maybe emo would be maybe more appropriate.
It is not emo. Although the people there were 30 years old and dressed to the nines in emo gear, like
So it's
to
not
the extreme.
So it's not emo, but everyone there happened
musicism.
to
They
shop
just
at
happen to be dressed that
odd,
way.
odd, very odd, confusing. But please,
So
please,
emo,
please.
if you don't know, stands for emotional punk rock.
That's
what it
right.
stands for.
I feel like they have this band has a wide spectrum of audience people. I'm surprised that there wasn't like old and young, that it was like just cranking down 30s.
I don't know what their audience demographic is, but I will tell you, and I'm not trying to be funny, and it's not an exaggeration. I was easily 20 years older than the
everybody.
people that were there. In fact, I chatted up with the young people in front of me and to the left, and the person to the left of me, I have a great story that you guys will find riveting. And they were 30 to 32.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to be their dad.
Yeah.
But once I could tell when I first cited hi to them, because I love talking to strangers, the guard went up. But then once I showed, I mean, they were super, why is this old guy talking to me? What
You were
does he
there with
want?
Melissa, though, too, right?
I was there with Melissa,
Yeah.
my wife, who has purple hair and a nose ring, so
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, living that punk life.
But I made a couple jokes, and then I referenced some stuff about the band, and they're immediately like, oh, okay, all right.
right, you know-
he's not a narc.
I do think it's funny that, yeah, what did they think you were a cop?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
that's funny.
the two girls that were sitting in front of me, I guess were smoking cloves. Can we say that?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
But it wasn't clove.
I gotcha. So they were a little skeptical. They were a
Yes,
little
they were.
paranoid, we'll say. I gotcha. Well, Darren, without any further ado, the tension has amassed so much. Darren, who did you go see Sunday?
Yeah, I went and saw a band called My Chemical Romance.
MCR.
And it was at AT&T in San Antonio, where the Spurs play. I've been to AT&T many times to see the Spurs for my kids, and we intentionally went a little later because I didn't know who the two opening bands are, and I didn't care.
Do you remember their names?
One's called Dilly Dally, and I don't know what the other one's called.
Yeah. I mean, they got to be a pretty big deal if they're opening for MCR.
Yes, and but we got right in with seriously no traffic. We had a fairly decent parking spot, and we got in the building within minutes. I couldn't believe it. Well done to AT&T staff, and I think we just timed it right. And we got there, and the opening band was still playing, and we sat outside. And when the music went off, we went and found our seats, and they were on the set. Anyway, so here's the couple of bullet points in terms of how it went.
Real quick,
Yes.
this, Darren, I think I'm going to say this is your number one or tied with number one. I mean, this is...
They're my favorite active rock band right now,
Right,
for sure.
right.
Van Halen is my favorite rock band
Fair,
of all time.
fair, but like currently active, they're Darren's numero uno.
I've waited years to see this band because they were broken up for 12 years.
That's right.
And they got back together, and then seriously, 2 months later, COVID hit, and then they shut down for 2 years.
How many people can the San Antonio Stadium hold? Any idea? Is it like
I do.
20K,
Yes. So they
40K?
didn't have. So the show was sold out, but they were moved the stage up a little bit. You know how it was like maybe 15 or 20% of the seats weren't open.
Right.
I would say it's probably 16,000 people were there.
Cool.
It was full. Yeah. So it was an old school rock show. The very minimal design. They have a very specific type of set that they put together. And it was high energy for sure. And what struck me about it was this. I've probably been to 1,000 concerts, if you count big shows like the Eagles and the Who, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I've seen all those people. And I've seen top country people like Garth Brooks and George Strait. And living in Austin, I've seen a lot of local bands. I'm not talking about your free walk into a bar and see a guy on a chair. I'm talking about concerts.
Sure.
And I've never seen while there are a lot of bands that are more popular and financially successful than My Chemical Romance, I've never seen the level of admiration from fans to a band.
Yeah.
They have
Loved
such an appreciation for it.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with this because of the emo kids. If you don't know what emo kids are, they're the ones that
I'm sure everybody
dress
does.
with very dark, very black, a lot
Yeah.
of heavy makeup,
Yeah.
and rock and roll clothes. And we did our best to look emo, although I don't think I pulled it off. But they're usually
you be you,
considered
Darren.
they're,
You be you.
they're considered outcasts or weirdos as they go through high school.
Just through high school, yeah.
Yes, and this band makes it known that them and anyone else that shows up is not only accepted but respected.
Yeah.
And so it's this band has become the spokespeople for that group of people.
I love it, yeah.
And I could just feel this relief from this crowd that they could be themselves. And I've never seen such a deep adoration, not only for the band, but for the lead singer in particular.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like wording is so important, and like it's its own clique. And everybody
It
should
is
look at,
its own
because
clique.
high school is like, you just have a bunch of cliques. There's your jock clique,
Right.
there's your emo clique, there's your music clique, there's your art clique and stuff. I think it's a better way. Hopefully, as we keep progressing as a society, we'll see it more as that. Like, hey, this is just how these people identify. It's not better, it's not worse. They're just saying they're
Right.
they identify as emotional. These other ones are jocks and preppy, and help and support everybody. I love that about music. That's my favorite thing about music, is that it brings us together with a group of people that all seem and see the same. And I love that you can be there with a cast of mid 30-year-olds, and
Right.
it has had the same impact on your life, and it's had the same meaning for you.
I saw a little girl who was probably about 9 or 10 years old who was dressed in full emo garb. And she was holding hands with her dad, who clearly was her
Aw.
dad. And he had the dad outfit on with the cargo shorts
Yeah.
and the cargo shorts and
Yeah.
the tennis shoes. And she was talking nonstop as they were walking through the hallway.
That's adorable.
And I heard her say, "Dad, don't worry, just follow me." So she was
That's
giving him.
adorable.
So anyway, one more quick note, and we'll move on. I did say hello to the extremely emo-looking person sitting next to me. Turns out this gentleman's name is Andrew Andrew De Leon, who lives in San Antonio, and he made it to the finals 10 years ago of Americans Got Talent. It's this guy right here. He sings rock opera.
Oh yeah, I remember
and he
seeing
has a
that
very
guy.
operatic voice. He's now 30 years old, working in the medical professional.
Yeah.
But he puts out his own music.
Yeah.
And I told him I knew who he was. He was a little skeptical, but then I quoted what Sharon Osbourne said to him from 10 years ago, and he knew that I knew who he was.
Nice.
So
I remember
shout out to
seeing-
Andrew, and he's already subscribed to our show now. so.
What up, Andrew? I remember seeing
He was
him
a nice
too.
guy,
Like
too.
when you showed me the picture, I was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely saw that clip." Just like super big voice for sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
it's insane, his voice. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Anyway, that's my My Chemical Romance review of AT&T Center, and well done to the AT&T people too. They really, I would
a good
never.
job.
I'm pretty hard on arenas, and I've been there during games where it hasn't been as easy, but we got very lucky and in and out.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
we drove home the next night too.
That's
the
awesome.
same day.
That's
right?
awesome. Well, you got to meet Andrew De Leon and MCR at the same night.
Yeah,
so
but
it was a
fun
big
show.
one.
Fun.
Super fun. All right, fantastic. Well, moving forward, we're going to move into our segment that we always call On This Day. So, on this day, Darren, on August 16th, 2022, what happened?
Yeah, it was August 16th, 2013 is this. So we're in 22
Right.
now. But anyway,
Right.
that's actually a typo on my notes. On August 23rd in 2013, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, I never knew this story. She found a man in her pool house at a place in her Hamptons location. And so he was charged with stalking. But she had a restraining order guy against named John DeWee, who I found out is now in jail. But he was a retired firefighter who was also charged with burglary, criminal contempt, and having burglary tools. But anyway, 2013 on this date, which is August 23rd, J-Lo had an uninvited visitor for her pool house. So Micah, you often talks about sort of the traps of stardom. This is one I know exists, but I don't ever think about it that
Yeah.
much because why would you?
And I imagine they
But
live that
that's
life.
scary as hell, man.
That's super scary. And I imagine they live that life constantly. You want to be like Rick Rubin famous. And when I say Rick Rubin famous, it means that most of you don't know who I'm talking about. But basically, like one of the biggest producers of all time. And if you don't know who he is, you know, he's got a big beard and stuff. You couldn't notice him. That's the ideal. When you are like, when your image, when your face is the brand, that's intense.
Right.
It's intense. It's a very specific lifestyle. And that would be horrifying for anybody that was famous or not famous. I wish nobody would be stalked in their life. That's terrible.
You know who was really smart about how they handled fame, and then they changed it all up, was the rock band Kiss.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they had the
Yeah.
fame and the lifestyle,
Yeah.
but people they
That's
could
still
walk
a
down the
common-
street and nobody knows.
That's still a common thing. Slipknot, you know, like you have a ton of artists that Sia, we don't know what she looks like. Like we
Yeah.
don't know what a lot are. Deadmau 5, we don't know what I mean, we do now. Like they eventually release what they look like, Marshmallow, but like I actually have always really liked that. Yeah, it's funny.
Rey Mysterio.
I'm serious.
He's
There
a
we go.
wrestler. He's a wrestler.
I've always thought that level that would be the way to do it. Buckethead. Nobody knows who Buckethead is. So I think that's.
I think we don't want to know what Buckethead looks like.
Does anyone have any idea who Daft Punk is? I want to know who Daft Punk is.
Yeah.
This is way off course.
Banksy.
This is way off course, but I wanted to make like I want SNL to do a Daft Punk receives award ceremonies, but they didn't actually want to go, so they just paid other guys to dress up in their suits and go to the show, and then they're telling them what to say in their
Oh, that's
earpieces. So they'd just be like, "Hey, say this for me." And they're just kicking back at home. It's not even them. They just paid for their suit. Anyways, I digress.
You think Sia does that for the allure, or she's got big stage fright stuff?
I think it has a mix to do. Yeah, I think one, it's
Every time she goes
immortality.
to the grocery store, she got to put on that stupid hat and then go.
Yeah, right. I think it's
tapping the avocados, you know, through her. She's got to lift her veil back.
Marshmallow's got to feed it under his hat.
Right.
I think there's a mysteriousness to it, but I think there's also a bit of like an immortality and a fear of like as humans we grow up and we get older and we don't always look the same. And if you have a costume, then like you'll never be dated. You'll just always ride that out. So
I'm
know.
distracted by the artists that do that.
I
I see Sia, I'm just like, what are you doing?
I like it.
I don't
like
care what you
Sia's
look like.
stuff.
Just sing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I really
I
enjoy
guess
it.
I'm naive.
I don't know.
But I get the allure from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah,
but I also
it's a shtick.
sometimes I have trouble getting lost in the performance because they got same goes with Slipknot or Buckethead or any of those things.
I love it. I think
I'm
it's
kinda
awesome.
like, what do they look like?
I think it's awesome. Like the boldness to make that move takes a certain type of person. Anyways, that was our on
Any
this.
hoodles.
That was our on this day. So we're gonna move forward. We're gonna be doing That's News to Me. Cue the glockenspiel. All right, Darren. That's news to me. What do we got here?
Yeah, this one is a little
is
somber.
a little somber.
But it's so
Man, it follows right on the
Odd.
skirts of what we were just talking
It
about.
does
though.
that. I would never normally talk about something like this, but this is about Britney Spears, who I've never paid attention to over my life because why would I? But she just yesterday said that in an Instagram post and video that she cries herself to sleep
Aw.
almost every night. And she said that the truth is her spirits are better, but she'll forever be traumatized by her past experience. One can only expect that she's talking about the the conservatorship that she was placed under with her
conservatorship,
father.
Fame. I mean, fame and the conservatorship, all of it. It's pretty rough.
But she said, "There's no way to fix me. My emotions and my sensitivity therapy, all of it. I'll need some sort of miracle for my emotions." He wrote. I knew Britney struggled with the
Anxiety,
mental health
depression,
and emotion challenge. I did not realize it was this bad. This to me is a cry for help.
This is a cry for help too. And what I would say to everybody out there, and this is an easy statement and an ignorant statement for those that suffer from depression, but I would say that I know a lot of people that love Britney. Like I have a lot of friends that are like, dude, I love Britney Spears. And I, like genuinely go see her, are all about it. And so many times
Because
in
of
life,
that reason? Or
no,
they love her
completely
music.
separate. I'm just saying that like
Yeah.
sometimes in life when we're in a bad place and we're rutting, we have a tendency to focus on all the negatives and forget the horde of positives. Now Britney's got a lot of negatives that happened to her. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened throughout her life. But, hopefully what keeps her trucking and keeps her going is the amazing amount of people that love her. Because I know there's a huge fan base still there that loves her. They support her. And
I have nothing against Britney.
No.
She's not my jam, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit of tough. It was like one of the first times we really came about, like lip syncing was really like working its way forward. And she arguably is at the front end of that. And I think that's really hard.
She's the...
And she kind of caught the weight.
Poster child for the whole auto-tune lip syncing.
Yeah, and there's a ton of artists successful today that aren't ragged upon that lip sync.
Right.
And like she kind of is the poster child for that. Like, and she kind of took that on the chin, and I think still has looked at that. And I mean, imagine, I have a lot of sympathy, Britt. I hope you're good. We all hope you're doing okay. Focus on the positive. We all still love you for so many features and aspects about you. I don't know
how she's. Well, for me, the takeaway is, regardless how rich or pretty you are, that does not equate to...
You know what's really funny? This is
I mean this sincerely, Brittany, if you're watching this, come spend time with us. Diana in the studio.
Yeah.
No judgment here.
Yeah. She can
We're not creeps.
She can stay in my Airbnb casita. It's 400 feet. Right?
You're joking. I was actually going to seriously suggest that.
Yeah, we'll make a song together.
Right outside of Micah's studio, there's a small little...
It's very
relaxing.
You
can escape into everyday boredom.
We got an acre. We got deer out back. It's very relaxing. There's a garden I can have for you out there.
There's guitars in the studio. I don't know. Let's write a song. And let's write a country song, Brittany.
There we go. She really should.
I'm not joking. I'm being
That's
serious.
crazy. She should reinvent as in country. Interesting. Anyways, moving. I can't go down that rabbit hole.
I say let's put your emotions into a song. That's what I say.
I hope she does. I hope music.
I bet it would be cathartic.
I hope music
knows Brittany get this video to her
for sure. I hope music is an outlet for people, and I hope you can use music when you're happy, and I hope you can use music to funnel when you're feeling a little bit down. So, Brittany, we hope you feel better.
Micah is the hidden Jason Isbell. He can produce the heck out of it.
I'm excited.
Okay, so anyway, I also found this fascinating. 73-year-old Ozzy Osbourne just released an album. I would love to do an episode once of how many rock stars are in their 70s still making music. And there's some rock stars I can't believe are still with it, like Ozzy and Keith Richards are two that I can't, Keith is now in his 80s. It's unbelievable. Anyway, he has a new album called Patient Number 9, and it is his 12th solo record, not even counting his time with Black Sabbath. But anyway, he has sort of said, hey, I won't let the world forget about me. And I'm hoping it goes to number one. It will, of course, not go to number one. But Ozzy Osbourne, I don't think him and others like him are doing it for the money. I think they're doing it for the same reasons they got into it 50-some years ago, for the love of the music and the craft and just the whole excitement of producing music.
Yeah.
And, God bless Ozzy Osbourne out there still doing it. I'm not the biggest Ozzy fan. He's got a few songs I like, but he's 73 years old putting out rock music. That's nuts to me.
This is a real psychological Darren and
Micah
It is.
Show. But don't you find that fascinating? Ozzy is 73 and he's worried that people have forgotten about him. 50, 60 years of music.
We've come to at least I'm coming to the conclusion at the end of the show, people. Let's be nice to each other. Let's understand that everyone goes through this human condition, whether you're famous, rich, poor, not happy. We're all suffering with our own traumas.
I would so be sitting on my boat in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, but he probably did that for the last 15 years, and he's bored.
I don't know if I would get tired of that.
You say it now, Darren. What did you just tell me? Money can't fix all things.
I know.
So you probably would.
They give you options, though.
Eventually, you're sitting there and you start.
Money gives you options.
Yeah, and it gives you the option to be sitting on.
To be on a boat in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ozzy sat there for 15 years, and then he thought, "Are people forgetting about me?"
Right.
I don't know why I was Christopher Walken, but sorry.
Because Christopher Walken is awesome in everything. There's a show on Amazon Prime right now called The Outlaws.
Yeah,
it's freaking
I'm
awesome.
in. I haven't seen Walken for a while. It's a British show
with dry humor, but he is in it.
Yes,
and he's great. He's also in his 70s, killing it, man.
Oh, Christopher is one of my favorites.
He's so funny in this
absolutely
show.
Funny. Well, Ozzy decided he's going to have an existential crisis. He's having an exit your life crisis.
Yes.
So he's having you have your midlife crisis, and then you have your later life crisis. He's having one of those, and I guess he doesn't want to be forgotten.
I will forever thank Ozzy
Sharon.
for the song "Crazy Train" because it's one of my favorite rock
He's
songs
got a
of
lot.
all time.
He's got a lot. It's definitely high up on my list. Okay, cool. Well, Darren, like many of our other weeks, we are going to move forward with our artist spotlight. You brought forth the first person. We'll see if we have time to get to the second person. Darren, who are we talking about first?
This is an instrumentalist out of Brazil. Her name is Lori Basilio. She's a guitar player, extremely skilled, extremely fast. Why I like her more than a lot of other speed burners is she is also incredibly soulful and rhythmic in the way that she plays. Her level of playing any style of music is impressive to me. But she tours with Joe Satriani, who is a known guitar player, and
Guitar
I think
god.
that commands respect. And she has a brand new album that just came out August 5th, or just a couple of weeks ago. It's Lari Basilio, Basilio. If you like skilled guitarists and instrumentalists, you need to check her out.
Let's have a listen. Here we go.
I have not heard this yet.
I see why Joey Satriani likes her. A little Eric Johnson-y, too.
I said that earlier.
Did you?
Yeah. She's the female Eric Johnson. Or he's the male Lori Basilio. It's only 3 people making all that noise.
Go. There's definitely some guitar layers in there, though.
Rick Beato, what scale is this? Oh.
Get it.
She got old guys playing the drums and the bass. The drummer just sits up on it.
I'm loving it.
The tone.
I'm loving it.
You know, there's just not a lot of instrumentalists out yet.
Agreed. All right, that was super fun, Darren. I
Well,
really enjoyed that.
You know, because I spent a lot of time on social media and YouTube for both work and life,
Yeah.
If you think there are any decent women guitar players, you're a ding dong.
There
man.
are so
there are
many.
a lot of them.
There are so many.
And of all of those with those caveats, she's my favorite. She plays a lot of different genres of music, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, pick a lane. Lori's all over the place, which I like.
Cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That definitely had like nodes of Eric Johnson with Joey Satriani and that little Bonamassa
She's
every
so
once in a while
young
too.
I think so,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
It's really, really cool. We're gonna do one more quick one. I don't know if we'll
Yay.
get all the way through it. This is a local Austin band. They're a duo. They're pretty rocky. If anyone's familiar with Spoon, I think they have a little bit of a Spoon vibe. They also got a little bit of a Royal Blood vibe. Anyone else? So we're gonna be rocking the rock right now, Darren. So let me get this pulled up and let's have a listen.
Yeah, and this is the first also for me. You want to say who they are, Micah?
Yeah, so this is Black Pistol Fire. I'll pause it. Black Pistol Fire. The song is called Look Alive. Here we go.
Look alive.
Leave
Look
it
alive.
all, leave it all behind. What if time was on your side? Would you keep losing mind, or let it pass you by? We was up, now we kiss the sky. Holding back and now I wave my right.
Love that snare. That's snappy.
Not showing any signs of life. Try to look alive when they're dropping like flies. Saddle up, we gonna ride now. Chase on my lights and my Psycho 69. Girl, just let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69. Girl, just let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69. Gotta get this off my chest. What's the come of us? Is anybody's guess? We both know how the story always seems to end. We use up, now we kiss the sky. Holding back and now I wave my right. Saddle up, we gon' ride now in the morning light. Not showing any signs of life. Try to look alive when they dropping like flies. Saddle up, we gonna ride now. Teasing my lights and my Psycho 69. Girl, just let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69. Girl, just let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Slowly driving me insane. See, you'll find tonight we gonna ride in my Psycho 69. Psycho 69. Let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69. Girl, just let me know now. How far will you go now? My Psycho 69. Girl, just let me
Somebody put that song in a movie soundtrack.
They,
That
they-
is such
they're-
a going to Las Vegas, gonna rob a casino song if I ever saw it. I thought it was freaking awesome.
they're gonna do well. They're gonna do very
that
well.
that riff,
That's so
is
good.
really- yes, so cool. And you talk a lot about the music you listen to in your car. That is a car driving song.
I mean,
and
literally, the
it's not
video
because
was
the
about
video has a
driving.
car. In
Yeah,
it.
y'all can't see it, but the video's about it. Well, that
That
was
is a top-down car.
that was
driving
Black
song.
Pistol Fire, Look Alive. Man, we rocked out today, Darren.
Yay.
This is not our typical songwriter session. We were down for the jams today. Well, thank you everybody for joining us so much here on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio for the Darren and Micah Show. As always, we loved having you. Thank you for tagging along. We'll be excited to come back next week. Darren, until then,
Happy Tuesday.
later.